Death is not the end, it is only the beginning. What happens after we take our final breath? Where do our souls venture? For millennia, humankind has pondered the mysteries of the afterlife, weaving tales of both wonder and terror. Tonight, we uncover 10 terrifying facts about life after death that will make you question everything you thought you knew, and perhaps even fear the darkness that awaits us all. Imagine, if you will, a soul unable to escape the clutches of its final moments, forever trapped in the ethereal prison of their demise. For some unfortunate souls, this is the afterlife, a relentless loop of their final moments on earth. The searing pain of a fatal wound, the crushing terror of their last breath, the sheer panic as life ebbs away, all replayed ad infinitum. Their essence becomes tethered to the earthly plane, unable to move on, unable to find peace. Some whisper of ancient battlefields, where the spectral echoes of fallen warriors still clash swords, their anguished cries carried on the wind. Others speak of haunted houses, where the spirits of those who met untimely ends relive their final moments, their terror seeping into the very walls. These lost souls, forever frozen in their death throes, serve as a chilling reminder that death is not always a release. For some, it is an eternal torment. Science tells us that our brains remain active for approximately 7 minutes after death, a flurry of electrical impulses as our physical form shuts down. But what if these final sparks of consciousness are not merely random firings, but glimpses into the world beyond? Those who have experienced near-death events often describe a sense of floating in a vast, dark void. Some hear voices whispering their name, while others feel the chilling touch of unseen hands attempting to pull them further into the abyss. Are these merely hallucinations conjured by a dying brain, or could they be something more? Disturbing whispers from the other side beckoning us to join them in the darkness. Perhaps those 7 minutes are not a countdown to oblivion, but a terrifying glimpse into the world that awaits us. A world where the veil between life and death thins and the shadows begin to stir. They lurk at the edge of our vision, dark, shapeless figures that vanish when approached, shadow people, dismissed by some as tricks of the light or figments of our imagination. But what if these fleeting glimpses are something far more sinister? Many cultures believe that shadow people are not beings of this world, but rather spirits of the dead, restless souls unable to move on, trapped in a shadowy realm between our world and the next. Some believe they are drawn to places of intense emotional energy, feeding on the residual psychic residue of tragedy and despair. Others whisper that they are searching for something more or someone to take their place in the darkness. So the next time you catch a glimpse of movement in the shadows, think twice before dismissing it as your imagination. It might just be a lost soul, forever bound to the darkness, watching you, waiting for you. The moment of death is often envisioned as a swift departure from the mortal coil. But what if our souls linger, invisible chains binding us to the world we've left behind? Some believe that after death, we are forced to witness our own funeral. Imagine the chilling experience of watching from a distance as loved ones gather to mourn your passing, hearing their tearful eulogies, witnessing their grief, knowing you can never reach out, never comfort them, never tell them you're still there, to see your life summed up in a few short speeches, to hear secrets whispered, regrets confessed, all while you remain an unseen observer, the ultimate voyeuristic nightmare. Perhaps this is a final test, a way for the soul to find closure before moving on, or maybe it's a cruel twist of fate, a final reminder of all we've left behind. Near-death experiences often describe a tunnel of brilliant light, a warm, inviting glow promising peace and tranquility. But what if this comforting image is nothing more than a cruel illusion? A siren's call, luring unsuspecting souls to their doom. Imagine emerging from the darkness into that glorious light, only to realize it's not a path to paradise, but a gateway to something far more sinister. A realm where unspeakable horrors lie in wait, their true forms masked by the blinding radiance. Some believe this false light is a tool used by malevolent entities to trap souls, ensnaring them in a web of deception. They whisper of ancient demons and hungry gods, their true forms hidden behind a veil of alluring light. So the next time you hear tales of the tunnel of light, remember this. Not all that glitters is gold. Sometimes the most beautiful lies hide the most terrifying truths. Imagine waking up one morning and going about your daily routine, completely unaware that something is terribly wrong. You try to greet your loved ones, but they walk right through you. You try to speak, but your voice is met with silence. For some unfortunate souls, death is not a sudden event, but a gradual, horrifying realization. They remain tethered to the earthly plane, unaware of their own passing, destined to wander among the living as an unseen phantom. They may continue their lives as normal, oblivious to the fact that they are no longer truly alive. Or they may slowly descend into madness, driven to the brink by their inability to interact with the world around them. The tragedy of the unknowing dead is a chilling reminder that death doesn't always come with a bang. Sometimes it's a slow, creeping realization that something is terribly, terribly wrong. Have you ever whispered the name of a departed loved one? A silent plea for their presence? Be careful, for in the world beyond, the veil between life and death is thin, and our whispers can be heard. Some believe that the dead linger on the edges of our reality, listening to our conversations, feeling our emotions, and when we speak their name, it's as if we're sending out a beacon, drawing them closer. The next time you whisper the name of someone you've lost, listen carefully. You might hear a faint whisper in return, a rustling leaf, a chill down your spine. Small signs that you are not alone. While some might find comfort in the idea that our loved ones are still listening, it's a chilling reminder that the barrier between our world and the next is not as impenetrable as we might think. In the afterlife, time as we know it ceases to exist. Seconds stretch into eons, and centuries flash by in the blink of an eye. The normal rules of time and space no longer apply. Some unfortunate souls find themselves trapped in a single agonizing moment, reliving their greatest fear or regret for what feels like an eternity, a never-ending loop of their own personal hell. Others may experience entire lifetimes in the span of a few earthly minutes, their souls flung across the vast tapestry of time, witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations, the birth and death of stars. This distortion of time is a terrifying aspect of the afterlife, a reminder that death is not an escape from suffering, but a journey into the unknown, where even the very fabric of reality is warped beyond recognition. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, but what if mirrors are windows to the afterlife, reflecting not just our physical forms, but offering glimpses into the realm beyond the veil? For centuries, mirrors have been shrouded in superstition, believed to be portals to other dimensions, gateways for spirits to cross over. Some whisper that if you stare into a mirror long enough, especially at night, you might see something staring back. A fleeting glimpse of a face that shouldn't be there. A pair of eyes filled with an ancient, unknowable hunger. A reflection of something not quite human. Perhaps it's just our imagination playing tricks on us. Or perhaps, in those brief, terrifying moments, the veil between our world and the next thins, and something from the other side is looking back. Across cultures and throughout history, There are warnings about contacting the dead, rituals and incantations designed to bridge the gap between our world and the next. But be warned, some doors are meant to stay closed. While some spirits might be benevolent, eager to offer guidance or comfort, others are driven by darker impulses. Jealous of the living, hungry for the energy of the mortal realm, they wait for an opportunity to cross over. Ouija boards, seances, even something as simple as speaking a name aloud in a darkened room. These acts can be seen as invitations, cracks in the veil that allow malevolent entities to slip through. Once that door is opened, it can be impossible to close. The spirits that are summoned might refuse to leave, their presence growing stronger, their influence spreading like a cancer. So heed the warnings of old. Think carefully before attempting to contact the dead, for the price of curiosity might be far greater than you could ever imagine. So, do you still believe death is a peaceful slumber? Or have you started to hear the whispers at the edge of your awareness, the rustling leaves, the creaking floorboards, the feeling of unseen eyes watching you from the shadows? They are calling your name, beckoning you to join them in the darkness. But be warned, once you cross that threshold, there's no turning back. Whispering, almost laughing. So do you still believe death is peaceful? Or have you started to hear the whispers, calling your name? A final, chilling whisper. See you soon. Like, comment and subscribe before it's too late.